Hi, so today I'm going to be talking about what I did first semester as an illustration student, and yeah. So we got given 2 briefs. I'm going to be looking here a lot, by the way, because I wrote notes. So she prepared. I just realized I'm wearing this backwards. Oh well. So for the first semester, we were given 3 briefs. It was orientation, reading visual culture, and stereotypes and tribes. For orientation and reading visual culture, we shared that with the graphics students to kind of get to know them. For orientation, we had to do a development book and 5 other tasks. Now I'm gonna go through the development book first. So we had to document the workshops. Now you had to attend these workshops. If you did not go, then you cannot do that because you haven't been shown how to do it. You don't know like the steps, how to clean, where everything is, and there's also some like safety hazards, I guess. For the laser cutter, it's in the room where people do woodwork, so there's a lot of big heavy machinery, and if you press the wrong button or you trip and then hit one of the machines, you can essentially like cut a finger off or something, so you do not want to do that. Nope. Another thing we had to add in this development book was the stuff we did in class, so quick sketches, cutouts, also the 5 other tasks. For anything we develop on, we had to put in here, so like all the prototypes, I guess. So after we finished it, we had to put all the pieces together and stab bind it. This is what it looks like. So everything has been sewn and made by hand. So when we did the workshops, we did screen printing. This was fun, but I really hated like clearing up, but at the same time I'm really proud how it turned out. For lino cutting, it was really therapeutic, but at the same time, once you're past that bit, you just want to get it done because it's going on for too long. My hands are hurting. I just want to finish this, but it is worth it. I actually have a video, my life in 6 months, my life the past 6 months, I don't know, and I'm actually lino cutting in there. I have a video coming out soon about what I did second sem because the semester is almost over. I've got 2 weeks left and I'm just gonna do the same thing, little sit down and talk, and I did lino cutting there. Hi guys, so as I'm editing this video, I realized I didn't talk about life drawing and the letterpress. The life drawing workshop actually got cancelled because there was a storm that day and the model couldn't come in. Instead, what we did was mark making, so we had some ink and masking tape and a paintbrush, and we just stuck some tape to the paper and painted over it. So these are some textures that we made from it. And from that, we created like a silhouette of a person and tried to incorporate as many textures as we can to it. So, yes. For letterpress, we could do whatever we wanted. We could write any phrase, but I decided to save time by doing the title of the other project where the poster title had to be in letterpress. So I picked the movie This Is England and I just did some experimentation on it. We also did photography, so we had to look at different lightings and what lighting works, what lighting doesn't. And then, as I said before, we did some laser cutting. Now this was so boring. I am so sorry to that teacher, but like it was so lengthy and he could have finished it in like 5 minutes, for real. Because there was this board, and I mean there's a computer, and in the computer it's like material something and something and something, and then if you click on it, so he clicked on materials, there's different subheadings. So he went through every material that was on there, and there was at least like 10. So he was like, oh, wood, metal, this and this and this. Like, it was never ending, and there were no seats. So it was an hour and a half of us just standing there, just nodding like, oh yeah, we want this to be over. So I was not a great big fan of that. And the thing is, when he opened up with, oh yeah, for the illustration students, you probably won't be here because this is mainly for graphics, in my mind I was like, okay, so can I leave? And then I couldn't. But you know, if I ever want to do some laser cutting, I can. So that's always a good thing. Onto the 5 tasks, we had to do a map of journey to uni. So I decided to do words and instructions, kind of like when you're using like the GPS to get somewhere. And then the second task is you had to visit an art gallery, pick a piece that you liked, and then essentially like break it apart. So you need to talk about like, oh, how was this made, what materials were used, how it was created, and like the components of it. So the third task was field recording. We had to go around town and record at least 5 sounds and turn those recordings into objects by customizing a record cover, yeah. In the brief it said a blank 45 single cover, so it was a record cover. I don't know why it took me so long. And 4 images inside the sleeve to accompany. And it can be drawn, photographed, you can use typography, just anything as long as it was like 4 images inside the sleeve. For my one, the front cover was kind of a view outside my window from when I was going from Southampton to Bournemouth. It was a picture I took and I decided to like draw it in black and white. Originally it was a map, but I really hated how it turned out, so I did that. And I prefer it, even though it kind of doesn't look like anything, but I like it. For the 4 images inside the sleeve, I think I did the sounds you hear on a train, using onomatopoeia on it as well. I don't really know how to explain. I'll probably have images up so you can just see. Fourth one is you went on a trip to either Isle of Wight or Amsterdam, depending how broke you are. Now, I was really broke, so I went to the Isle of Wight trip. You had to send a postcard from either Isle of Wight or Amsterdam to the uni, and then on the postcard you need to customize like how you feel, what the weather was like, just anything you feel in that moment. The last task for orientation was today, so we had to choose a day and create a list of like what we did that day. So I woke up, I ate, I did this and this and this, and it can be anything you wanted it to be as long as you presented it. So I chose to do postcards. One of my friends did like a comic book, the other one did photography. And it was funny because when I finished doing my postcards, I realized I spelled bangus wrong. And it's fine because like they're white, so they don't know what bangus is, because that's Tagalog. My voice is getting really like croaky because I've been talking for so long, because my camera cut out a bunch of times, so I have to keep re-recording it before the sun goes down. So as I said, orientation was shared with the graphic student, and so was reading visual culture. Now for this we were given a person, either an illustrator or a graphics designer, to do an essay about. So talking about who he is, evaluating his work, like the techniques and motives of that work, to create that work. And we also had to do a visual journal. So every Tuesday, we had a seminar talking about like theories and different art eras. So I'll just put a bunch up on the screen of a little like kind of like a slideshow that we had to make. The last and final one was stereotypes and tribes. The graphic student had typography, I think, but it was completely different from what we had. The last one was solely like with illustration students, which I loved. For stereotypes and tribes, it was a sketchbook filled with life drawing, just people walking down the street, the people that you see. I'm just gonna insert photos. And that was really chill, it was really fun, and yeah, it was really easy. The second task, we had to create a movie poster of like a coming of age film. There was 3 films. One of them was She-Bop, the other one was This Is England, and I forgot what the last one was, but I'm just gonna insert somewhere what it was. When creating the movie posters, we had to add letterpress for the title, lino print for the image or screen printing, and the rest, like the small text, could be done in Photoshop using any font you want. And then the last bit of that was creating a past, present, and future stereotypes and tribes. So one of them, what I did was, now we have an e-boy or e-girl. Before it was an emo, and then for the future I put an e-borg because I could not think of anything else. So yeah. So there is some pictures that I haven't scanned in, and I'm just gonna show you the ones that we did in class. So we did some life drawings like this and like this. And the thing is, when we cut out the piece of paper, we weren't told where to put it. He was just like, oh yeah, just put it somewhere on the page. So when we found out it was gonna be like someone holding a book, everyone was kind of like, oh, I put mine in the corner, how am I gonna do this? So we had to kind of figure out what to do. And then we also did this one, and this one, and my camera's about to die, so I'm trying to go for it quickly. Woohoo, she about to die. And then we also did these ones using the printer and the copier. And then this one. Yeah. So my camera's about to die, so see you later guys. Bye.